Now, to talk more about some tennis and this National Bank Open, Carson is back with us again today. Thank you, Carson, very much for joining us. It's great to have you back. And you were actually in Toronto catching the first few rounds of this National Bank Open. Carson, you have a lot to talk about here with the National Bank Open. Let's get it underway. So, what was it like being in the stands in Toronto during the tournament?
Yeah, it's awesome being in the stands for the tournament. It's honestly my favorite week of the year. I go every 2 years when the men are in Toronto, and I've been to see the women as well in Toronto. But I usually go every 2 years, traveling in from Alberta, and it's awesome. It's my favorite week this year, 2 weeks, but with the extended tournament. But there's nothing like it, and watching from TV is just not the same. Like being at the courts, you can bounce around all the different courts, go watch a practice, go watch a warm up, go have a couple iced teas in the courtyard. Like, it's really a full day, and talk about bang for your buck. A hockey game, you pay $300 and you're there for 3 hours. Here, it's $20 and you're there the full day. It's incredible value. You're sitting there in the sun, you're having a couple drinks, watching some tennis. Honestly, you can't beat it.
What do you think the National Bank Open means to Toronto and Montreal?
The tournament is awesome for Toronto and Montreal. Tennis fans from all over Canada come to travel for it. Even North America, I met some people from the States that came up for it. It's a really big deal, and for Tennis Canada, growing up as a junior player, it is very important financially for the country and their tennis, funding a lot of tournaments and really helping kind of run Tennis Canada throughout the year, the revenue they generate. This year being a 2-week tournament, they generated even more revenue, so it is really important for Tennis Canada.
What impressed you the most in Victoria Mboko's performance throughout the tournament?
Yeah, Mboko, I mean, what can I say about her? Her composure was just incredible. Like, these are the biggest matches she's ever played. She played 4 Grand Slam winners on her path to the title. Like, she's 18 years old. It's just incredible. Like, the stage wasn't too big for her. I've been in matches where there's 20 people watching me, and you feel like there's so much pressure and everything's on the line. The whole world's watching her. She's 18 years old. And none of the matches she played were too big for her. That's what I'm most impressed with from her. And moving forward, what do I expect the rest of the year from her? Honestly, not a whole lot. Like, she could lose every other match, and I could say that what a year for her that she's had. Realistically, I think she might not play as well in Cincinnati. We see a lot of people, you win big tournaments, the biggest tournament of your career, you're bound to have a letdown. I experienced that a lot as a junior, where you put all your energy into this one tournament, and then it's kind of hard to regroup on the fly, get ready for the next one. Hopefully she's able to regroup for the U.S. Open, but with her composure, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she made the quarterfinals at the U.S. Open, but I'm not going to expect that from her. If she loses first round, I'm not going to be saying, oh, she's a bust. What she's accomplished already this year is incredible, and I would just look for her to make kind of third rounds of tournaments, and if she's losing to seeded players, I'm not going to fault her for that, because she's still 18 and probably has to reflect on the performance she had here.
What were your thoughts on Ben Shelton's performance?
My thoughts on Ben Shelton, he's my favorite tennis player. I love watching him, so much energy, so much passion. I watched a lot of his practices throughout the week, and I went to a couple of his matches, and I actually had him as the tournament winner heading into this week. I've predicted him to win a lot of tournaments, lower level tournaments, like outside of the Grand Slams, and I've been wrong on pretty much every one of them, but at least for this one I can say I called it. It was incredible watching him. His serve up in person is just incredible. The pop he gets on it, the snap of his wrist, how much he coils his body. Really exciting to watch. And I sat across from his dad at Ben's second round match and seeing kind of the relationship they have. Kind of hearing him coaching during the matches, it was really cool to be a part of his journey, the biggest title of his career, and I do think he'll be able to win a Grand Slam throughout his career. I think he's the U.S. Open. He's had really good success the last couple of years. I think he can make a deep run this year, but the question for me with him is he able to beat Alcaraz and Sinner? He's shown he's able to beat anyone else on the biggest stages. Can he beat Alcaraz and Sinner? He's yet really to show that, especially in the Grand Slams. The 3 Grand Slams leading up to this year's U.S. Open, he's lost to Sinner twice, Alcaraz once. Can he get over that hump? That's the only question I have with Ben Shelton.
Who are you most surprised by in this tournament?
It's got to be Karen Khachanov. He's had some good success in Canada before, but, ranked outside the top 10, outside the top 15, kind of hovering around that 15 area. You don't expect him to make it to the finals. He looked really good. He was composed. He wasn't playing great leading into this. In Washington, nothing special. Was kind of finding his game. He was complaining about the courts and the surfaces heading into Canada, and then he makes it to the final. And man, he was so impressive. I mean, we're talking about Ben as well. What a win for him. He was right there with him, beating top seeds along the way. And he's kind of been a guy he's been there for a while now. Probably in the last 8 years, he's been a threat at every tournament, but he's never really gotten over that hump. He hasn't done that here. This was, I think, his second Masters 1000 final. I believe he lost in Paris as well years ago. But being able to get back to this stage on this final, obviously he didn't win, but he's a threat to make it to the quarters in the U.S. Open, and he's shown that he can beat the top players. And obviously Osaka as well, I want to mention on the women's side, losing in the finals as well. Great composure from her, having a child, being away from tennis for so long, coming back and reaching her first big final. That was really impressive. Obviously a lot of controversy around her and the acceptance speech at the end. Very short and not so sweet. Obviously she was pretty hurt about it, but I was really impressed with her on-court game throughout the tournament.
And last but not least, what should tennis fans expect for the U.S. Open?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the U.S. Open. With the two Masters 1000s leading up to it, obviously it's this month of August and September of tennis, and then you have the Laver Cup at the end of September. It's really bang, bang, bang. It's going to be awesome. There's matches every day. But I'm really excited for this U.S. Open. The biggest questions I have going in are how are Alcaraz and Sinner playing? I think we might answer those in Cincinnati this week, but they took some time off, electing not to play the Canadian Open, taking some time off. Sinner, maybe taking a little bit more of a relaxing holiday. Alcaraz out in Ibiza partying. How is that going to affect his game? And the biggest question I have is, can some of these other players, Fritz, Zverev, Shelton now, can they break through and get through them? Because really it's been basically book it. One of them, if not two of them, are in the finals of the Grand Slam. And one of them is lifting the title. So I'm really curious to see that. And then on the women's side, similar. You kind of have the big two. You have Sabalenka and Swiatek. Same thing. Can other players break through and get through them? A little less consistency on the women's side, but pretty much I would think one of them is going to be on the final, and then you have some of those other players, Goff, Navarro, some of the Americans, Pegula, can they break through? And, maybe you can beat one of them, but can you beat both of the players, Sabalenka and Swiatek, en route to the final? That's the biggest question. En route to lifting the title. That's the biggest question I have there. And man, the U.S. Open, Wimbledon is probably the most famous tournament on the grass in England, but this is probably the most showtime, the most prime time. You got the celebrity sightings, New York playing matches, 3 a.m. You can't really beat it. It's also during Fashion Week, so you can't really beat the celebrities you're going to see out there, the fashion you're going to see. It's really an event. It's not just a tennis tournament. It's really an event. So I can't wait for the U.S. Open. And the time change as well compared to the other Grand Slams, I will mention. Living in North America, a lot better to watch. I don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to watch these matches. I can get up 10 a.m., basically watch matches until 3 a.m. You can't beat it.
Carson, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on and talking tennis with us. Thanks again.